on deck with Evil Dead chick. What's in store when you open the door? Step inside, my little ones. Bring your flashlight and good luck charms. Oh, and good luck charms. Oh. Might get dark. It might get scary. Maybe even a little insane. Crawl out from under the bed. Don't be afraid. Evil Dead Chick is here to entertain and thrill. Deadites on deck with Evil Dead Chick. Let's hang out till the sun comes up. Cannon fodder from your television screen with fury and force. Golan and Globus are at the helm, shipping out films that don't give a damn. Strange and bizarre, comedic, insane, and even deliciously horrific. They're busting at the seams. Cannon fodder from your theater screens with fury and force. Cannon fodder from your theater screens with fury and force.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another edition of Cannon Fodder. And tonight I'm going to be talking about Nana. That's how they pronounce it in the movie. These supposedly French guys go Nana, talking about this woman that I'm going to talk about in the movie here in just a little bit. And House of the Long Shadows, which number one, I didn't realize it was a Pete Walker film. Number two, I had no idea that this one was released by Canon. So it was two different surprises. And I had seen House of the Long Shadow years and years ago when I was a kid. But I didn't remember really anything about it. So it was kind of like watching it fresh. But we're going to get to these two films here in just a little bit. But as usual, I want to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. So make sure you hop on over to deaditesondeck.com, my horror shop. Tell them Poe sent you. Poe is, of course, the official mascot of the Deadites on Deck horror shop. And if you can remember the name of my channel, you can remember the name of the shop. It's deaditesondeck.com. And I have t-shirts, I have hats, I have mouse pads, I have tote bags, I have blended teas, I have candles, booga booga bears. And soon, hopefully soon, we'll be making their way to the shop. The Pyro plushies, the first of those will be Poe. And if you're not a horror fan, or you are a horror fan and you said, gee, Dana, I visited your site and I just didn't really find the design that I was looking for. Guys, gals, I do custom work. And it doesn't have to be horror related. If you are a horror fan and you've got an idea for a design, please run that by me. I have a handy dandy form on the homepage of the shop, and you can let me know what it is your heart so desires, as long as it's legal. If you have a business, if you have a side business, a new business that you're starting, and you want a particular type of logo put on shirts and hats and maybe even mouse pads or tote bags, just let me know, and we will discuss your options. That's why I have that form on the homepage of the shop. Okay. Um, Also, I can, put your kids, your grandkids, you and your significant other, your whole family, if they got together for a family reunion, pets, all of that good stuff. Just let me know. I'm open to, like I said, pretty much anything as long as it's legal. Okay, movie roulette is in full effect tonight because this is a live stream. And how do you play movie roulette? Well, you can give a $5 or more super chat on this or any other live streams that does include watch alongs. And if you give a $5 or more super chat, you can pick any movie of your choosing for me to watch and do a review of. I even did Necromantic too, folks. That was Uncle Bill's pick. He gave us $5, and I was obligated to watch and review Necromantic 2, and I did so. We have, hopefully, we will have they're all messed up tomorrow night. Hopefully, I'll be able to start at 8, if not 8, maybe 9 at the latest. And I will be talking about the kills in Death Walks at Midnight and My Dear Killer. A couple of, I think they're both Jallos. So you Jallo fans can look forward to that tomorrow night. I haven't really asked Candace about Friday Foolish, so I don't know if we're going to be doing a Friday Foolish this week or not. She's not been feeling very well. So we'll just have to see. So if we don't do it this week, I won't be able to do it next week because I am working on late Friday. Yes, another late Friday, folks. Got a couple of watch alongs coming up this weekend. This will be the final weekend, unless there's a clamoring for me to do 2 on watch along weekends. But I'm thinking that people aren't seeming to be that interested in the Sunday watch alongs. So I am going to cut them back to just being on Saturdays when I do have them. But this week will be the final week for a Saturday and Sunday watch along. And Saturday's watch along will be Edge of the Axe, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Sunday's watch along, it was a tiebreaker. I had to flip a coin. There was a tie between Dirty Dancing and just one of the guys. And just one of the guys won through a coin toss. No movie munchies or anything like that this weekend. But we do have those watch alongs coming up. And the following Monday, we should have another celluloid trash. And starting Tuesday, because the last Dick's Picks was last night, or the final Dick's Picks, and a new show is going to be sliding into the Dick's Picks spot, and that is Horror Fandom. It's a way of life. We're going to be talking about, or I'm hoping to have Chris on here with me, but I don't know for sure what he's got lined up. But in any event, I will be talking about horror conventions and why the horror devotees or however you want to pronounce it, keep going back time after time after time, year after year after year, even though both the landscape of horror conventions has changed quite a bit to even when I first started going in 2009 on a regular basis. And the prices are very inflated and various other things. So I'm going to be talking about all of that next Tuesday. And then hopefully we'll have another cannon fodder, more they're all messed up. And of course, if we don't do Friday Foolish this week, we won't be able to next week because, yeah, you guessed it. I got stuck working the late Friday again. So, but we got to have a job, right? So, oh, goodness. So sorry, folks. All right. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to these movies. So, I'll just tell you right off, folks, I was not a fan of Nana. Um, I got more and more irritated with this movie as it went on. Now, some of you guys may enjoy it because it does show quite a bit of skin and this very attractive girl woman is seducing all the men in town, and it I think it's supposed to take place in the 19, I wanted to say 20s, but I could be wrong on that. But it actually came out in 1983. And we see this girl who's basically she's a stripper in a brothel. And all the men are just head over heels for her, and including a young boy who's set to get, I mean, he's not a young boy, but, college age, I'd say, who is set to be married, but he falls under the spell of Nana, like all the other men in town, including his own father, who at first rejects the idea of his son um, going to a brothel, and and then he ends up there with a guy that he's showing around town, and he falls head over heels for Nana. So you got basically every man in this little town that's sleeping with Nana. And Nana uses all these men and turns them against each other. They're having duels and all kinds of things. Uh, the one guy's dad loses all his money. They lose their home and all of that. And it's just, I just got tired of watching this woman use these guys and these guys allowing themselves to be used. She seduces a banker and gets him to buy her this big, beautiful house. And then she says, "Go away." He shows up one day and she's with someone else. And she said, "Go away. I don't want you here anymore." And so she's just really a bitch, folks. And her beauty does nothing to enhance her personality in this case. So yeah, was not a fan of this movie at all. Um, don't anticipate going back and rewatching it at any time. But who am I to say that some of you guys and gals maybe might enjoy it? Um, so MGM Plus has it. If you have a subscription to MGM Plus, you can watch Nana, and you can also watch the next one I'm going to be talking about here in just a second, House of Long Shadows. But I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to give a rating for Nana. And yeah, folks, I just really can't give this more than 2 deadites out of 5. I'm not saying it wasn't a well-made movie and a polished looking movie. It's just I was not interested in the subject matter at all. Um, and I'm not on here to try to tell you guys and gals that you shouldn't watch it. If you would like to check it out, if you have a subscription to MGM Plus, um, I I say go for it. So anyway, that is Nana from 1983. And House of Long Shadows also came out in 1983. And I realized I forgot to show y'all some artwork for Nana. I'll show you the poster there. Um, yeah, That doesn't really look like Nana on there, but the pictures of the guys in the background, that it looks pretty much like them. But anyway, I didn't want to forget to show that artwork. And so the next one, the second one I want to talk about tonight is House of the Long Shadows. So has the tagline. No, that's not how they pronounced it, Uncle Bill, in the movie. They said, no, no, they were running around chasing after this woman. Um, so House of the Long Shadows has Vincent Price, it has Christopher Lee, it has Peter Cushing, John Carradine. And because this is a Pete Walker slasher, it does have Sheila Keith, who was pretty much a, Pete Walker regular. She was in a lot of his films. And Desi Arnaz was also in this. I believe actually Desi Arnaz Jr. Plays a writer in this. And he makes a bet with his agent that he can write. He thinks things like Wuthering Heights and stuff like that. And Charles Dickens books and stuff like that is just garbage, basically. And so he makes a bet with his agent that for $20,000 that he can write something like Wuthering Heights. He can churn that out in 24 hours. But he needs somewhere quiet to write this novel. So his agent says, well, hey, I know of a house and I can get you permission. And so he sends the writer out to this manor. I think they call it Baldpate Manor. It's hard to pronounce, but if you look at it written down, I'm like, how do they get that out of it? But it's actually pronounced a little bit differently by one of the other characters in the film that shows up later. Somebody else that's in this film that, unless you watched A Hard Day's Night or or watched any Beatles films at all, you may not know this person, but Norm Rossington is in this as the station master. It's at the train station. He's got a small part, but I was like, oh yeah, that was Norm Rossington when I was watching the credits. And it also says here it's a murderously funny mystery with a twist. And it is quite gruesome for most of the film. So the writer shows up at this house and this manor, and he starts to write, and then all these things start happening. These people that say they're the caretakers, played by John Carradine and Sheila Keith. John Carradine is supposed to be Sheila Keith's father in the film. And like the writer's like, well, who the hell are you guys? And she gets, upset with Sheila Keith's character, gets upset with him. The character Victoria, she gets upset with him because he says hell. Anytime he says, shit or hell, I think he says bullshit and hell, and she's like, she's really gets really upset. And he's like, I'm sorry, I upset you. But he's like, who the hell are you guys? I was supposed to be here alone to write this novel. And they said, well, we are the caretakers, So one by one, these different characters start showing up, played by Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, Vincent Price, You're the same way, Uncle Bill. You don't like profanity. Oops. I don't know if I believe that or not, Uncle Bill. But so these people just keep showing up. And so when Vincent Price shows up, he says that his brother got this 14-year-old girl pregnant, and then killed her. And he said, my brother's escaped and he's running around here. And so another woman shows up, and the couple that the writer met in the train station when he was trying to figure out how to get to this house show up. And I don't want to give away the twist, but people start getting killed off. They start getting knocked off. It's almost like a 10 Little Indians type of thing. You know, people are all right 1 minute and then they're getting poisoned by the punch that Victoria made, or, you know, somebody's hung, somebody's chopped with an axe. And it doesn't show a lot. It, like on the axe, when one of the characters gets axed in the head repeatedly, you see hair and a little bit of blood on there. But it's gruesome, but it's not gory, I would say. But I had a lot of fun with this one. Like I said, I watched this one years and years and years and years ago. Like I said, when I was a kid, I think I may have watched it at my granny's house on cable. And so it had been so many years that I didn't remember anything about this. So it was like watching it fresh. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun watching this. And if you've never seen it, that's why I don't want to give away like some of the twists along the way. If you've never seen this one, I can highly, highly recommend it. Now, you know, try to find a for free copy. Now, I have a subscription to MGM Plus, and it is available on MGM Plus. So if you already have a subscription to that, you can watch both of these movies that I've talked about tonight on there. But this is an exceptionally fun movie with some classic horror actors in it. And so I loved going back and being able to experience this with fresh eyes and being older, and plus the fact that I didn't remember one thing about the original time that I watched it. But based on this watching, I'm going to give House of the Long Shadows 5 Deadites out of 5. Fantastically fun film. And I would recommend it to anybody. I would even recommend it to people that aren't horror fans. I think you would like it. And it was a different sort of film for Pete Walker. I feel like, you know, he was, some people might refer to this one as a slasher. But it's not like the Pete Walker slashers that we got used to, like Schizo and other ones in his canon of films. Oh, and I said canon, didn't I? We're talking about cannon fodder. But I guess that is it from me for tonight. I haven't been on here very long, but like I always say, these things are not really meant to be super long streams, and they probably could be relegated to videos. However, I love getting on here and talking with you guys and gals and talking about these movies and top 5 slashers no one mentioned. Oh man, Uncle Bill, you caught me off guard here. Well, you know, I mentioned Schizo, the Pete Walker slasher. I don't feel like a lot of people mention that one. I'm kind of cheating here, but Death Screams aka House of Death. I don't hear a lot of people talk about that. Girls Night Out. I mean, I know these have become more popular because like Arrow and other companies have put them out. Um, so yeah, I would put Girls Night Out in there. Mm, gosh, I'm trying to think here, Uncle Bill. Blood Rage, the Thanksgiving Blood Rage. That one. And I would even, you may laugh, Uncle Bill, but I would even put Mutilator in here because those five films were not really talked about that much until they were released by some of these big companies. Um, so you may think those are a little bit odd choices, but yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I'm sticking to those. Um, but I want to thank Uncle Bill for hanging out with me in the chat here. I want to thank you. Agree with most of those? Cool. I guess me and Uncle Bill are on kind of the same wavelength tonight. But I do want to thank Uncle Bill for hanging out in the chat with me as I navigated through these couple of movies tonight. You love all three of those? Now, I've had some people tell me that they don't like Death Screams. There have been some people that don't like Girls Night Out. I think more people like Mutilator more than they do the other two. But Girls Night Out was like, that was a blind buy for me. I didn't really know a whole lot about it, and I just absolutely loved it. Mutilator, I didn't know a lot about that one. Death Screams, aka House of Death, was the same way. But I want to thank those of you that popped in here for a little bit and watched as I was going through these two movies. And I also want to thank those of you that will watch this on the replay. Because I realize not everybody has all the time in the world to pop into every stream there is. And so I appreciate even those of you guys and gals that will watch this on the replay. Yeah, exactly, Uncle Bill. Those are all regional slashers, and I love that vibe. I really enjoy that vibe as well. I should probably do, I'm not trying to steal your thunder or anything, Uncle Bill. But I probably should do a stream on that on regional slashers sometime. You know what else would be in that, Uncle Bill? Is a movie that you don't like, Final Exam. Technically, that's a regional slasher. You probably say, "Oh God, no." But I want to remind you guys and gals, though, before I get off of here for the night, also that there are a lot of ways that you can support me and the channel that won't cost you one thin dime. One of the ways is by subscribing. If you haven't subscribed and you're liking the content or loving the content that I'm putting out, what are you waiting for? It costs you absolutely nothing to subscribe. And since Uncle Bill's in here, I'm not mentioning it necessarily because Uncle Bill's in here. I've mentioned it when he's not in here. Or maybe he was in here and he just wasn't in the chat. If you haven't checked out Dead Pit with CK and Uncle Bill, they do fantastic stuff. They do all kinds of streams and videos and shorts, and they have horror roundtables, and you never know what these guys are going to do. And they do a fantastic job of entertaining everybody that watches, including me. I don't get to watch them, sadly, as much as I used to several years ago. But I really want to get back into, watching their stuff again. So if you have not checked out Dead Pit, go ahead and check them out. If you love their content, hey, don't delay. Subscribe to them. Okay. Chris has his Crater Mania channel. He's doing lots of fantastic stuff. Chris knows his movies. You're going to have a Creep Show 2 tier list, Uncle Bill. What time are y'all going to be doing that? Are y'all going to be doing that at 10? Or, because I'm going to do, excuse me, I'm going to do They're All Messed Up, and I'm hoping to start it at 8 o'clock. Talking about the kills in Death Walks at Midnight and My Dear Killer. But I would like to stop by and check that out. Hopefully I won't forget. So you can subscribe. It's 10 tomorrow. We're ranking all the episodes from every Creep Show movie. Oh, that's cool. Are you even doing are you even doing Creep Show 3, Uncle Bill? Because I guess technically that's a Creep Show movie. But also, you can like any of the content that you especially like on my channel. 1 through 3. Yeah, that third one's gonna. I'm looking for all those to be the drizzling shits or whatever it is. I'll be very surprised if it gets in, if any of them get any higher. But anyways, also, you can hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that I've got coming up. And I guess that's it. Again, thank you, Uncle Bill, for getting in here and hanging out with me in the chat. I really appreciate it. But as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. And also, don't forget to head on over to deaditesondeck.com, my horror shop, and check out all the cool stuff I've got on there. And I'm out of here, folks. Have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see everybody next time.